You know that feeling, right? Staring at the ceiling, watching the minutes tick by, and just feeling that wave of frustration wash over you. You know you have to be up soon, but your brain just refuses to switch off. Well, if you are absolutely tired of being tired, you've come to the right place. Today we're going to dig into what separates a few bad nights of sleep from a real clinical condition. And most importantly, we'll talk about a proven, powerful way to get your sleep and your life back on track.
First off, it's so important to understand the difference here. A bad night of sleep, that's like getting a flat tire. It's super annoying for sure, but you deal with it and you move on. But clinical insomnia, what we're talking about today, that's more like a car that's always misfiring. It's a sign that there's an underlying issue that's affecting your entire journey, day in and day out.
So let's get really clear on what we're actually talking about. When exactly does a string of bad nights cross that line into something more, something that needs a real solution?
It's a fantastic question, because once you can define the problem, you're already on the path to fixing it. And spoiler alert, it's not just about one really rough week. It's all about the pattern. To figure out if it's a temporary hiccup or a chronic condition, specialists use this really simple but effective guideline. It's called the Rule of Threes, and it breaks it down perfectly. And here it is. It's pretty straightforward. Number 1, you're having trouble sleeping at least 3 nights every single week. Number 2, this has been going on for at least 3 months. And number 3, and this is the real kicker, it's actually causing major problems in your daily life. We're talking about feeling exhausted, irritable, or just not being able to focus. Seeing it laid out like this can be a relief. It helps you see this isn't some personal failing, it's a recognized health condition. Okay, so now that we've really defined the problem, let's talk about the solution. And I mean the most effective first-line treatment out there. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBT-I for short.
So what is CBT-I really? Well, it's not about finding some magic pill. It's an active, powerful approach that gets right to the root of why you're not sleeping. It's a structured, scientifically backed program that's all about retraining your brain and your body to sleep well again.
I absolutely love this analogy. Sleeping pills, they can feel like a floaty, right? They might keep your head above water for a night, but they don't teach you how to actually handle the water by yourself. CBT-I, on the other hand, it teaches you how to swim. It gives you the skills you need to manage your sleep for the rest of your life.
And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. On one side, you've got sleeping pills. Yeah, they can feel like a quick fix, but it's a passive approach, and it doesn't get to the real problem. But then you have CBT-I. It's active. You're learning skills, you're addressing the root causes, and you're building a long-term solution. It's all about empowering you to make a lasting change.
And listen, this isn't just an opinion. This is the official #1 recommendation from major medical authorities. When a group like the American College of Physicians says this is where you should start, it's because the science backing it up is just overwhelming.
All right, let's dive into the practical side of things. A huge part of CBT-I is literally retraining your body's internal clock. We're going to look at some specific techniques that can break that awful cycle of sleeplessness and make your bed a place for rest again. You see, if you spent night after night tossing and turning, your brain has learned to associate your bed with anxiety and frustration, not sleep. CBT-I gives you the tools to break that connection. We're going to focus on 2 of the most powerful techniques designed to rebuild a strong, positive link between your bed and actual restful sleep.
Stimulus control is all about setting up new rules for the bedroom. Rule number 1, you only go to bed when you're actually feeling sleepy. Rule number 2, the bed is only for sleep and intimacy. That's it. No more scrolling on your phone, no more worrying about work. And rule 3, if you're not asleep in about 20 minutes, you get up. You go to something quiet, and you only come back when you're sleepy again. This stops that cycle of frustration and retrains your brain to see your bed as a place of peace.
Okay, now hang with me on this next one. The idea of restricting your time in bed to fix insomnia. I know it sounds totally backward, but the science behind this is so solid, and it's honestly one of the most powerful parts of this therapy. So here's how it works. Let's say you're only sleeping about 5 hours a night, but you're spending 8 hours in bed. That's 3 hours of just lying there getting frustrated. Sleep restriction temporarily matches your time in bed to your actual sleep time. This builds up a really strong natural drive to sleep, so you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. Then, as your sleep gets more solid, you gradually start adding more time back. It's brilliant.
Now, behavior is only half of the equation. For so many people who struggle with insomnia, the real battle, well, it's fought in the mind. So let's look at the cognitive part of cognitive behavioral therapy.
It's that voice in your head, right?
The one that kicks in at 2 in the morning saying, "Here we go again. I'll never get to sleep. Tomorrow is going to be a total disaster." CBT-I gives you the tools you need to fight back against those exact thoughts.
This table shows exactly how it's done. This is called cognitive restructuring. You learn to catch those automatic negative thoughts, like "I'll never fall asleep," and challenge them. You replace them with something more realistic and balanced, like, "Okay, I'm having a tough time right now, but I've slept before and I'll sleep again. I can handle tomorrow." You learn to take that immense pressure off yourself, which ironically is what finally lets you relax enough to sleep.
Now, CBT-I also includes other things you might have heard of, like deep breathing and meditation, and making sure your bedroom is dark and quiet. That's called sleep hygiene. But here's a really important point. While that stuff is helpful, for chronic insomnia, it is rarely enough all by itself. It's the powerful combination of all these techniques that makes CBT-I so incredibly effective.
So, we've covered what insomnia is, what CBT-I is, and how these amazing techniques work together. Let's bring it all home and talk about what the path forward looks like for you.
If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. CBT-I is an investment in yourself. This isn't a quick fix or a Band-Aid. The skills you learn are yours forever, giving you the power and the confidence to manage your sleep now and for years to come. And while we've gone over the concepts here, putting them into practice, especially something like sleep restriction, can be tricky to do on your own. That's why working with a trained professional is so key. They can create a plan that's tailored specifically for you, guiding you through the process so you get the absolute best results.
If anything we've talked about today has resonated with you and you feel like it's finally time to get your life back from insomnia, please know that reaching out for help is a sign of incredible strength. The team at Providers for Healthy Living can offer that expert guidance you need to create a personalized plan and support you on your journey back to restful sleep. You can find out more on their website, providersforhealthyliving.com.
I really hope this has helped shed some light on a real path to better sleep. If you found it valuable, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with anyone you think might need to hear this, and be sure to subscribe for more clear, helpful content to support your well-being. Thanks so much for watching.